Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, we are going to talk about what got hit by the frost. It is currently November 2nd, and I'm going to probably get this video out to you next week, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about our first frost date. So I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, zone 8, and last night it got down to like 32, I believe. So we had our first hard frost of the season, and it's actually early this year. Last year it was late November. Now this weekend, we're going to be out of the clear, no frost. So I guess, you know, if there was things that I wanted to protect and throw a sheet over on some of this stuff and keep it going for a little bit longer, I could. But actually, I'm just kind of over it and tired of protecting things because early in the spring I had to do that as well. So these Surefire Red Begonias, some are looking great and some are zapped, so there's no sense saving them, but they did really, really well. They actually lasted me a really long season from May all the way till currently till November. So that's a lot of growing season. And then these Blue My Mind Volvulus have done really well also. Now on these Blue My Mind Volvulus, I'm just going to cut them back and I'm not going to pull them up out of the ground. And then I'm going to, once I get my pansies in the ground, then I'll put a good amount of compost or mulch around them to try to protect them. Now I've heard, but I'm not for sure, this is my first time putting this into the ground, that they come back for us. So I'm gonna see, like, because I love this look right here and I don't mind repeating it. So if there's something that I don't mind repeating, like this right here, then I'm gonna give it a chance because I bought, I think, 2 flats, and 2 flats is gonna cost me probably $160 or so. So if these will come back for me and I love the look, then that's going to be awesome. Now these Surefire Begonias did great as well. I had 2 begonias in here, the double up begonia and the Surefire. And I think next year I'll just do nothing but the Surefire. I thought they were really pretty. And I wouldn't mind doing another color. Like if I did red, then I think I would like to do white, or just kind of mix it up a little bit and kind of have a red, white, and blue theme going on in here because my son's in the military right now. And I just kind of like to dedicate this side to him while he's still gone away from us, and he's in Italy right now. But anywho, so yeah, I already did one part of the garden already, so I'll share that with you, and then I thought I would do this with you as well. So, and there's lots of tips that I've got in the garden here in November. So I'm going to start with this. So any of the perennials that already got zapped by the frost, just go ahead and if you're done with them, go ahead and pull them up completely with the root and all. And if it's something that you think that you can save, like these Blue My Mind Volvulus, then go ahead and just cut them all the way back and don't pull the root system up. Now another annual that does really well for us here is some of the petunias, especially the Vista petunias from Proven Winners. They do really good. So bubblegum, and then the white ones, and then the raspberry ones also do really well. And I have some of the raspberry here in the back that I'll show you. They did not get affected at all by the frost. They're a little bit more hardy, and you can also plant those a little bit earlier in the season as well. So yeah, let's just get this part of the garden all cut back, and then I'm going to show you the front part. And some of the other tips that I'm going to share with you are just as we kind of go along into the garden. I cleared out one of my raised beds, and then I'm going to get some compost and some biotone to throw in there. So I'm going to share that with you. I have some boxwoods here behind me. You'll probably see those a little bit better after I get some of these annuals out, and they can be pruned back and tidied up a little bit. And you can put down mulch, and there's lots and lots of little tips that we can do right here in the garden in November. And you know, this coming Saturday, it's going to be in the 70s, so it's a perfect time to still get out into your garden and enjoy your gardens. So let me back the camera up and we'll get this all cleaned up. You can see I have my pop-up bag right here, and I have my Felco 2 pruners. Love my pruners, got to get you some. And I do like a pop-up bag as well. So let me just show you some of the damage right here. If you can look up close, it's kind of hard to tell because I still have lots of color, but you can see all the droopy type stuff like this right here. This is what's got zapped by the frost this morning. When I left, I had a good amount of frost on the grass and on my car. And look at that sad little thing. That was a coleus that came back from last year. And this is what the Blue My Mind evolvulus is looking at. So you can tell some of it got zapped by the frost and then some did not. But I'm going to go ahead and just prune it all the way back because I'm ready to put in some pansies in this side garden as well. And then you can see this is my boxwoods. These are Sprinter Boxwoods. So they do really good in the sun or shade. And they look just fabulous. And they've not been in the ground but maybe going on 2 years. So they still have a lot of filling out to do. But as long as you keep the top pruned, then they'll start to fill out on the sides. So I've got several boxwoods in this garden. My camellias are looking great. But another tip that I wanted to share with you is that when you're starting to get into the really cold zones, you want to go ahead and take off everything off your faucet. So my husband, you can do this, you know, with just a paper bag and some zip ties. So he went ahead and unplugged everything from the faucet there. And then this is all my drip tubing and the garden hose right there. So that's all he did was just wrapped it in a baggie and then he zip tied it really well. So this just protects dirt from getting into these little areas right there. So I've got 4 of those that you can see. And you know, I don't have water hooked up to the front either. So anyways. So this camellia is doing really, really pretty, and I've actually got some blooms on it. So excited. I got some that are about ready to bud out, like that one. And then I have some that are already out in bloom. Let me bring this one around to you. Look how precious that is. It's wanting to face the other way. I'm afraid to touch it too much because I don't want the blooms to drop off. And then of course I have another one right there facing the other way too. But pretty excited about this one. This one's been in the ground. This is the 2nd season. So I think last fall is when I planted this one right here. And this one is an apple blossom camellia. And then you can see this is the side that I already cleared out right here. So this is where I just cut back. It still got messes right here. This is where I cut back my Blue My Mind evolvulus, and I may have to cut it down just a little bit more, but you know, that's pretty good. And then I'm going to mulch that really good, and I think I'm going to put pansies in between these right here, and then that way when my pansies are still looking good, these are starting to grow, and then I can pull my pansies up. But I'm going to put right over in this all of my tulips right here. So this year for this side, the tulips that I picked out, and I'll show the name up on the screen, they are purple, red, and yellow. I really like the combination I had last year, which were hot pink and orange. I really, really liked it, but I waited too long to order from Color Blends, so I missed out on that one. So anyways, so that's what I'm going to do. So I cut that side back and I pulled all the begonias up so you can see that I still have a little bit of blooms here and there. And I guess I need to be careful because it did stain some of my siding here or my walkway. But anywho, I hope that it comes up. And then another thing is if you have anything in pots that you want to plant, go ahead and plant them soon. So really I can plant anytime. I don't really have my ground really doesn't freeze here in my zone. But anyways, as long as the ground's not frozen, you can plant anytime. So that right there is a red bud that I had in that pot for a couple years, and I desperately need to get that one out and prune it up a little bit and see what I'm gonna do and where I'm gonna place that. I thought about keeping it there because it's really happy. So I don't know. I think it'll look good once it gets taller. Can you picture it being like way up there instead of way down here? Because it's going to get tall. And then these boxwoods need to be pruned up too. So I can take either my Volco pruners and prune them up, or I could take a hedge clipper and get those. I think I'm going to do it with the hedge clipper. Last time my husband did all of my boxwoods in the back for me. He's such a great man. And so I'm really not sure what to do here, to be honest with you, because this is the first time that they're in the ground and they're wintered over. I think I planted those, almost everything in here, early spring last year. So this is the pulmonaria. I'm thinking, I don't know if it's going to stay evergreen, so I'm just going to leave it because it's still really pretty. And my, oh, what are these things called? I'm having such a hard time remembering names right this second. So anyways, this is the Christmas flower. You guys help me out. Anyways, I'm gonna have to throw the name up. But all of these right here, I'm just not really sure what to do with them. So as long as they're looking nice, I'm gonna leave it. Like, I think I can cut back this old foliage right here. This is a Lenten rose. Finally remembered. And then I have some new growth right here. So I think I can keep the new growth and cut this old growth off. And this right here is starting to flower too. And I bought this past spring. This will stay evergreen. And I can't remember the name of it either. It is a really odd name. I have it wrote down. So this plant's really hard to find. So as long as things are looking good, I'm just gonna leave, but you can tell like some of it underneath is not looking good. Like if I pull this pulmonaria and it's kind of sticky. See how it doesn't look good underneath the bottom, but I'm just gonna leave it right now because the top foliage looks good. And who knows, like the frost might get it too. I just don't have any idea. If you've got experience with any of these, let me know because I just don't really have any idea. This is Jacob's ladder, so it's looking good. I cut that one all the way back and it's starting to regrow back. And then I have a couple of heucheras that are looking great. I need to find out what type this is because it's doing awesome. Like, I could do a whole hedge of that. Wouldn't that be pretty? If I had my boxwoods and that right there, that would be really, really pretty. All right, and now let's get on to this task right there.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. All the good times just begun.
I've actually seen Jenny do this trick and it works really well. Is if you have a whole hedge like I do right here, then just kind of roll it all up and then take care of it at the very end. Just kind of take a whole handful and just cut the handful of it. Let me know, have you guys had this come back for you? I know one of my neighbors that when we do the garden tours at the beginning of the spring and we go to her garden, she says that hers has came back. And it's, like I said, it's really an annual, but sometimes they'll hang in there and come back for us. Ow. This one's got a big root system. Just trying to get all the dirt off and most of the mulch. Love this pop-up bag too. I have all the links of everything that I use in my description. Let me know what your garden tasks are right now. Like, what are you doing in your zone? I know a lot of people have snow already, which I can't even fathom. I used to grow up in Kentucky, so they have cooler, wetter weather than we do, so I can kind of relate to snow. Well, they have not got any snow yet, but I know my friend Dawn, she's in Michigan right now, and she said that they got like a foot of snow while she was there. I'd say I'm probably about maybe a month early than a lot and maybe a month behind than some of you guys. Like, you've probably already done this maybe in your own garden because you've already gotten a frost. But if you're in my zone, these are some good tips for you to do. Or if you can't get out and you still enjoy gardening and you want to watch me garden, you're more than welcome to watch me garden. All right, so that one's not coming up, so I'm gonna have to come back and grab that root. So I got everything cut back that I'm gonna keep or try to keep, and we'll just see if they come back. If they don't, then I can pull everything up in the springtime. There's a few roots that I still need to get up. Like this one, I couldn't get that up, but I'll use a different tool to get that up. And then coming down here on the end, these sedums right here are perennials. Perennials are something that come back year after year. Now I know that this can be cut back. It's pretty unsightly and it really doesn't like this space, so I need to replant that. And this is a perfect time to replant, actually. So if there's anything that you want to move into your garden, this is the perfect time to move it. Because when I dig all these roots up right here and move them to a different location, they're gonna have time over the winter to develop roots. And when they come up in the spring, they're gonna look really, really pretty. So you'll be happy to go ahead and plant your perennials now in the fall. Now we never really have, like, our ground doesn't freeze here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. So I really can plant any time of the year. But if your ground's not frozen, then go ahead and replant and remove things that you want. So I can actually go ahead and cut this back because it's not gonna last all winter long like this. I'm surprised it didn't go ahead and just get zapped. So I'm gonna cut it back to about so, as you can see, and then I have a couple of coneflowers over there too that I'm going to cut all the way back. The coneflowers can stay. They're happy here, so I'm going to leave them there. But these sedum right here, it's too wet, and you can see that they just have, what do you call that? Like fungus. No matter how much that I spray, they're still going to have fungus because it just stays too wet on the side because I have nothing but morning sun and afternoon shade. Anyway, so those need to be moved. And then, like I said, these boxwoods need to be pruned back. These right here have been in the ground longer than the other ones. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and you can see how pretty they are, and they've already grown into a hedge. So I need to get them trimmed back. And then I can trim up this button bush already here too. Like, it did not bloom for me this year, but I do know that it's alive. So do you guys know what the scratch test is? So if you take your thumbnail and scratch it like so, and you see green underneath there, can you see the green? I'm trying to show you in my video here. Right there, if you see green underneath there, you know that it's alive. Now this leafed out this year, but it never bloomed. I don't know why. So I hope it does next year for me. This button bush likes really boggy areas too. But I just don't know why it didn't bloom. If it doesn't bloom the first year, have you guys planted a button bush and it did not bloom? And you can see where it lost all of its leaves. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those leaves picked up too, since I'm really good at mulching everything. I like a neat garden. Now, everybody has their own opinion about this, but for me, I just don't like the look of all these leaves. For me, it drives me crazy. I'm not really OCD, but I just like a neater garden. I like it to look nice all the time. So I use mulch instead of the leaves, and that's fine. If you like to use the leaves, you can use the leaves. Everybody can choose and have their own choice in their garden. So that's another tip. All right, so another tip for you. I was noticing after I pruned this boxwood right here, the Sprinter Boxwood, that I have some spider mite damage. So what I use to spray for spider mites is this Captain Jack's Dead Bug here, because it kills bagworms, borers, beetles, and it says spider mites as well. So this is what I like to use. And another tip is that I keep this same jug and then I buy another concentrate and just fill it up. So I buy this product one time and then a concentrate as well. But let me show you close up what the damage looks like. Can you see the speckling on the leaves right there? That's what spider mite damage is. And it can definitely kill a tree. So I am going to spray this pretty vigorously and soak it. Because spider mites can kill your trees. And boxwoods are definitely susceptible to it, and so are emerald green arborvitaes. So I spray my emerald green arborvitaes with this right here at least twice a year, and I usually do it in May and August. All right, so this is what this side garden's looking like right now. Still need to plant that, but I just wanted to show you where I got all the annuals cleaned up, hoping that this Blew My Mind Uvulus will come back. I got everything out of my little container right there. That's from Unique Stone. So I'll throw like a little pansy or something in there. I think that would be cute. And then I need to get my tulips. They're in the refrigerator pre-chilling right now because I already told you about that. If you live in a higher zone, 7B, 8 and up, you need to pre-chill your tulip bulbs. So if you don't have good success and you have not pre-chilled them, then that may be your problem. And then again, I need to go ahead and look all this up about the pulmonaria. And I know that the Lenten rose, the new ones to keep and the old ones that you can prune back. So I do know that. I don't know about Jacob's ladder. I think it's a perennial and I think it will die all the way back and come back in the spring. So it may eventually get zapped by the cold. And like I said, I don't know if the pulmonaria is an evergreen, but I'm going to look it up and find out and let you know. And then, like I said, that's where we zip tied all of our ends of our drip tubing and things that went to the faucet right there, the water hose. So remember to do that. Don't let your water freeze. That will cause you big problems. And then all these right here were cleaned up. You can see my real pretty camellia. This one is white by the gate. So it's going to have double white blooms. Excited about that one. And then coming on down here, I went ahead and cut back my sedum and the coneflowers, and I'm going to move them. So we'll do that in a different video. And then this button bush, I went ahead and pruned it all the way back. Now you can either do it, if you live in a really cold zone, I would wait till spring, but I do not. So I went ahead and pruned mine back. And then the way I pruned it is that I got all the little small dwindly branches off, and then I just pruned it up into a nice shape. That's all I did. And then of course you saw me spray the boxwood, and I don't know, I did notice I don't see any damage on this side, but this over here I definitely saw damage, spider mite damage. I hate that. But anyways, it's real. Spider mites are real and you cannot see them. They're so tiny, but that's the damage that they do right there. All right, so I probably need to go ahead and spray all of these too, since the other ones have had it, and do it throughout the year, at least once or twice. So I need to get these all pruned up, the hedges, and I think everything's gonna look pretty good on here. And then what I'm gonna do again this weekend is buy me some pansies, and I'm gonna put the pansies up front because I'm putting in tulips. I've got 400 tulips that need to go in this area. So I'm gonna save all that middle area for my tulips. And then I'll put my pansies up here while these are hopefully just go dormant. Another tip is just to remember to still if you don't get any rain, to go ahead and water your pots. Any plants that are in pots still need to be watered, even though it is November, December, or January. I'm going to say that this is probably going to need to be watered at least twice a week right now, but then this weekend it's going to be in the 70s. So, and then another November tip that we did, since we got a frost last night, everything got zapped. All of my tomato plants, all of my zinnias, all got zapped. So I cleaned this box out right here for you so you guys can see the difference between this box right here. You can see my obelisk right there now. And then you can see the drip. So I'm going to come back this weekend and top dress this with compost and biotone, so it'll get this garden really pretty and ready for next year. So we'll do that this weekend. And then I wanted to show you what the garden looks like that I did not. This is the other raised bed that I have, and you can see where everything just got zapped. Potato vine, zinnias. Now you can leave these zinnias back, and let them go to seed if you'd like before you started to pull them up. They say they do better if you let them sit here and dry. Then the seeds are better. Let me see, like this one right here. I don't think it's quite dry enough yet. I like to get all my seeds from Floret. If you love a place that's reliable, let me know like where you like to get your seeds are from. I know Johnny Seeds is another really good one that people like. And this raised garden right here is from Savannah. And I have that link in my description if you're interested in a raised garden bed that's easy to assemble. And then my husband did that one for me. I like both. Love both. So this weekend I need to come back and get all of this cleaned out as well. I just wanted to show you one garden that needs to be cleaned and one garden that's already cleaned out, and that was a chore. I have a little video to share with you on that one. And it got my heart rate up. I was sweating out here in 50-degree weather. So everything pretty much in this garden is not alive anymore after last night, after our frost. And then another tip for you is to please still feed your birds. They need more feed in the winter time more so than the summertime. And I like to feed my birds some really good bird feed, as you can see. I love seeing birds in the garden. See, there's one up there in the tree. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I don't know if you can see the birds behind me when I'm filming. You probably can. I know sometimes you could hear them as well. And there's the boxwoods that my husband trimmed up. See how nice they look? All trimmed and more formal looking. And I love the roses this time of year. I have to share them with you. They love the cool nights because in the summertime we don't have cool nights. And look, do you see this webbing right here too? I need to spray this I don't think that's spider mites, but it could be. I'm thinking the spider mite webbing's a little bit smaller than that, but I don't know. That could be spider mite. But anyways, it needs to be sprayed with the Captain Jack's dead bug. And this one is Alexandra of Kent. And this one's an older rose, and you can see how pretty she is though. Alexandra of Kent. And let's come up here. This one is Boscabelle. Let's see if I can find a pretty rose for you. They do better in the cold. I mean, the buds might get zapped, but then they're going to start to still rebloom because you could see that I still got lots of pretty buds right here. And that's Boscobel. Look how pretty these containers are and how full they are already. I love it. So I do need to come and water all of these containers sometime today. And this one is Gabrielle Oak. Look how pretty that color is this time of year. Like in the summertime, I don't get that deep color. Love the color this time of year. See, I have more webbing right there too. So I need to go get my Captain Jack's dead bug. And this one is Eustasia Ave. And this one's looking more purple this time of year, pink to purple. I have deeper colors in the wintertime for sure. You can see they age out a little bit lighter color. Gosh, look, it's beautiful. I can show you blooms and bees. Like, oh, they're already starting to fall off all day long. Blooms and bees. Here's some more containers that need to be watered. Love this orange in the garden. Make sure you watch my videos on the limelight hydrangeas and the emerald green arborvitae trees as well. They were out last week. Another tip is that if you have any perennials still in containers, like these are still in containers, as you can see, I just plopped them in there and put a little bit of dirt around it. These need to be repotted this fall. And these are the lemon jade sedum. That's it for this video today. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe my videos if you like more tips like this. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears